So did you catch Raw this week? Did you happen
Yes.
to okay, so anything that sticks out in your mind about Raw, anything that you took away from it that was you were like, yeah, this is good, this is money, this is go. I thought the Raw personally was phenomenal. I thought the only
Agreed.
segment that kind of sucked, not to shit on the ladies, but I felt like that the ladies one was kind of it started out really well, then it started losing steam really fast, and then Nia came out and just saved it and made it epic. So
Yes,
yeah.
that was great. That was great. I mean, I have my problems. Well, my main issue, at least in terms of with the ladies, because I thought with Dunn being gone that we would get rid of. Okay, I'm talking. Okay, I'm going to interrupt you. Now I'm going to
Yeah.
interrupt you. Now I'm going to interrupt you. And then doing that, it was just running a lot of the same. Because I feel like they fucked up with the whole Rumble thing. I'm a pro and proud Balian,
Hmm.
not just because she's also from the Bay Area, but it's just a simple fact. I think that should have been the one to win the Royal Rumble. Because putting her in a limit, I mean, they could have did the Elimination Chamber thing, but this shoehorning Becky thing, like that was my immediate fucking problem with shoehorning Becky
Yeah.
into that whole thing. She has no heat. Like Nia has been stunning you repeatedly. Like build up to that. Let that be the match. I don't think there aren't as many people. Maybe I'm in the minority. There aren't as many people this fucking excited to see Becky Lynch come in and dethrone somebody who's over just so they could shove this man gimmick in our fucking face for the fifth year in a row. Like the same heat that Roman used to get or that Charlotte gets, Becky should be getting because she's doing the exact same thing. She's not hot at all. I don't even believe at this. I know they're going to do it, but I don't even believe that you could beat Nia at this point because they finally built Nia up properly.
I
So
know.
then trying to
Nia's been
force
so
that
good.
she's been great. She's been great, and for the trolls on there, she hasn't hurt anyone recently, so that's good
Yeah,
too.
I guess that's great for Nia, not
Yeah,
hurting
but it's just okay. We're just shoehorning Becky. Like I'm supposed to. Oh, just tell us that it's going to be Becky. If that was the case, you should have had her win the Rumble. But
Yeah,
even
I
then,
agree
it's
with
not
that.
believable.
Yeah, I'm on the rope with that one because I like that Bailey won. There was that moment there where the crowd's pointing with her. She deserves it. It was a
Oh
great
yeah,
Rumble match too. But the whole thing is like, yeah, dude, the even without Bailey winning the chamber, Bailey and Io could just beef with each other and go for that tight. Like that match is just there because of their relationship and this all the time you've invested in damage control. The Royal Rumble doesn't have to be the thing that gives Bailey the confidence to finally stand up to Io, who's been like shit talking her on the side and stuff.
yeah.
That
But Bailey
story's
deserved that
always
moment.
been there no matter what. So exactly, Becky should have won the Rumble so that because then Nia can fuck her up 100 times and then
Exactly, and it won't
Becky
matter.
always has that match against Rhea, but then also she has the looming threat of Nia. If she does get through Rhea, well, Nia knows she's been fucking her up and she can take. I don't know. I agree with you on that. I think
But is
that
she gonna? Is she really? Do we really believe that though? Like, I don't think that. I mean, that Becky should have won the Rumble either because it's just not
I don't
hot.
think
It's
she
just
should have. No, I don't like either of those choices actually. To be honest, or no, I like that Bailey won it, but I
I'm
just
all
feel
for
like
Bailey winning.
storyline wise, they're backwards. You know, like it's almost like
No,
storyline Becky should have won it.
tell us you want Becky. Tell us you want Becky because I'm like, why? So she's gonna do the exact same shit that Charlotte
Do you
gets
think she
bull
beats
that
Rhea though? Do you think Becky beats Rhea?
if they're pushing it this fucking much, yes.
Oh god damn it. No. No, god
If
damn it.
if they're pushing it because if they're gonna do the right business, then it needs to be Rhea because it's not like her reign has been all that great anyway.
I
So
know.
yeah, I mean, and who knows? Maybe it'll improve. But she's been doing great shit with with the Judgment Day, and now they're building up credible people like Nia and like or other people that can come in there. I feel like they're shoehorning Becky into it because it's the man and she gets a good pop. But it's like, the
Yeah.
matches have been subpar lately. It's just she's doing the exact same thing that she criticized Charlotte for. Exact same thing. And she already
Yeah.
did it to Bianca. And we already seen what happened with that. And then everybody turned. And then we had to build that back up. I don't think that she's it. You build this up for someone else and then for Rhea to win, because I think Rhea should retain in most cases, but Bailey getting this win is because she deserved it, because she's literally the foundation and backbone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. She's gonna win at
she's held it down.
Mania. Huge baby
She
face
needs
pop moment. Can't
But
wait.
but do you really believe that Becky should win this? Because like
I don't,
they're
man. I think
killing
Rhea should beat her. I think Rhea should not lose that belt. I think she should put that fucking. That's the first ever reign with that belt. She should just
it.
like she's not lost any momentum at all, and it could turn. Okay, because there's the rumor that they might, and this could all be dirt sheet nonsense, but they're already the talks are starting like they might merge Roman and Seth's belts, like
No,
Endeavor and TKO are interested in having one set of fucking belts. Like here's the
you probably
heavyweight
learned from
title.
this.
Here's the so if they do that with the women's title, I want to my fantasy mark booking. Let me hit some fucking X Files right here. This is my fantasy mark booking. Is
Okay.
if it's me and I'm looking at the long game, Rhea's just so she's such a star, and you have that other women's belt. You have her defend her belt for so long, win the Money in the Bank, and then have the belt and the briefcase, and then you can carry that for like 6 months to a year, and then have her win the other women's belt down the line and merge them together. If they're trying to merge all the belts together, which is what the rumor is, like, just that's the rumors
They
I'm
just
hearing. But
separated them though, like, and this
I
gave new
know.
ones to differentiate. I would hate that. That's like,
Me
I
too. I
like,
but the brand split though is like meaningless, and we always come back to this topic where it's like, well,
yeah.
around WrestleMania time it gets, and I like that. That's okay. But on the same token, it's been before the Rumble and before the road to WrestleMania. They've really just kind of been like, oh well, Cody's super hot right now, so he'll be on SmackDown. So it's just like, I I I think if you're gonna have the two sets of belts, you got to really separate the rosters, and also you got to think too, like the Judgment Day have had the fucking those tag belts forever.
I
Um,
almost forgot.
and I know exactly, but then the Usos had them forever, and then Owens and Sammy, and they're two separate belts, but every other division got separated by their own belt. So it's like, what the fuck is going on with those? Like, we need an answer
Merge
to
the tag
that
belts.
by WrestleMania. I want the tag belts
Merge
to
the tag belts.
merge them or separate them again and have a world tag belts and a WWE tag belts and separate
Yeah, I
them
mean it's
again.
more merchandise. I mean that's more merchandise. Maybe they can like my thing is okay. Merge the tag belts. I think they should keep the women's titles separate because I feel like the roster, like where they're hitting right now,
Yeah,
there's
there's so
enough for the
many
Ivy
women.
style.
There's so many good
There's
women. Yeah.
exactly my wife thinks that there should be a mid card title for the women, and
I
like
don't.
AEW's got
I
that.
think before they do that, they just gotta really focus on developing and making the women's tag division meaningful, and then I'm right
Yeah.
there. I'm right there with your wife. But until then, I don't. They got to fucking establish like, okay, here are, because besides Caden Carter and Katana Chance, who are to me, I'm like, build the division around them, like Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, and Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, those four,
Yes.
and then you
Because they
have
ran
like,
NXT.
and then you have the Kabuki Warriors. Okay, give me like three more teams like that are like, I always say this on the pod, like heavy machinery but women. So
Yes.
like Katana Carter and Kate, pardon me, Caden Carter and Katana Chance, they changed their names. I think the
Yeah.
one girl is Casey Catanzaro or whatever. Yeah, so sorry.
Yeah.
They fucking, they're the first women's tag team that's really like a gimmick together. They're like these rave
An
chicks,
actual tag team. Yeah. An
yeah. They're like
actual.
they're like the rockers, but like the female version of that. I want,
They're EDM rockers.
yeah, like we need like bring the iconics back. I'm all about
Yes,
it. Like let's get
please.
like a few more women's teams like that are team teams and not just Tegan Knox and Natalia. Like nobody
Oh
gives a
my
fuck about that.
God, that dumpster
Candice
fire.
LeRae and Indy, nobody gives a fuck about. Let's be honest. Like, so let's
They
just
have
get,
potential.
they do, but I just I don't know, man. I feel like when
They
they
should have
come out,
stayed on
it's like,
NXT.
yeah, it's like exactly go to NXT, but then they don't have a women's tag division there anymore. That's what I mean. They absorbed it. Ronda left. It's
Yeah.
bullshit. I get why Sasha walked out sometimes when that's what they're doing with the
Yeah.
women's tag division. It's like, God damn
Yeah.
it.
100%.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too. But yeah, so the women really stood out though to me there. But one segment on Raw, um, that went down, and so there was Netflix. They were in Anaheim, so there was Netflix executives all sitting in the front enjoying beers. You could see them having a great time. And then they
Hmm.
had what's his name? Callum, I forget his name. He's a boxer that Dana White's personally promoting. And
Yeah.
he,
Oh,
yeah,
now
so
he's
they had
invested
him
in
in the,
boxing. Okay.
yeah, and then they have Michael Chandler call out Conor McGregor live. on WWE RAW.
Like that
Now,
wasn't planned. Did he ever respond? I usually
no,
Connor's not quiet.
no, I think Conor posted. No, I don't think he even responded. Actually, he didn't respond whatsoever. But I don't know. Chandler's getting memed because like Conor did do an Ultimate Fighter with him, and he has responded to Chandler in the past. So people are just sort of like, like memeing the responses and like, who the fuck is that guy? But
Let's go.
yeah, but here's
When
what
he snatched that
Chandler.
microphone too, that was bullshit.
Yeah, here's him snapping. Samantha
Hey,
Irvin hands him the mic.
what's up, Anaheim? Oh, hey, you are now in the presence of the most entertaining UFC fighter on the planet.
Okay.
Hey, now there's a man from Ireland that's been making me wait for way
Dude stands up on his chair.
Yeah.
too long. And I still got one dude on my mind. Conor McGregor, get your candy ass back to the octagon. We got some unfinished business, boys. God bless. I'll see you at the top.
Sound like he was on that booger sugar.
Yeah, dude. So I am a big MMA fan. I love Michael Chandler. I loved him before he was in the UFC. And to
No,
me,
he was awesome.
yeah, I love him. And to me, I think if I'm him, it's good that he's sowing these seeds because he ultimately doesn't have a lot of fights left. And he decided, he made a decision about a year ago. I'm just waiting for Conor to be ready to fight me, and then I'll fight him for the big bag. And then that will probably be his retirement fight, if I had to bet,
Oh yeah.
because he just goes to war, bangs it out. And he got into the UFC a little later. That being said, and he is one of the most exciting fighters. So now he's setting it up where, okay, he could come into WWE one day, who knows? And Saudi Arabia
man.
throws a lot of money around, and they could maybe do something in the WWE now that UFC is connected. Now, WWE's done lots of stuff with UFC, like UFC fighters, shown them on camera, all of that stuff in the past.
Mhm.
But what do you make of this? Like, dude, like you said, he snatched the mic, he snapped, he's screaming at the
Yeah.
top of his lungs.
I'm Ricochet. He might have to see me because
Yeah.
there's levels to that. Yeah, him scream. He looked coked out, but then again, maybe. But then again, in his pressers, because I've watched a lot of his fights too. I mean, he's consistent. I'll give him that. I've heard some things where some of the casuals were just kind of who don't like MMA were just kind of weirded out, or there's those people in MMA spaces that like complain that he's doing so for pro wrestling, even though like they turn on their pro wrestling switch to sell these fights. They use a belt to symbolize their champion. You know what I mean? It's hand in hand. Um, I think if I highly doubt they would give him a mic, like a hot mic, if he's just going to go into business for himself and just say that. Like I'm pretty sure that
Yeah,
Dana
there
and
were there
everybody
were
was aware
photos
of
of
it.
him backstage chopping it up with Triple H and whatnot. So
They knew, yeah, they knew what was coming with that. I guess they probably just didn't think he'd be so juiced about it.
yeah.
But um, I know Michael Cole just had no idea who dude was and just looked like annoyed. But they showed him. He was just, and I guess he took off his shirt, but they didn't put it on camera. Michael
Oh
Cole
my
just
god.
looked like, who the fuck is this guy?
That's what I wanted to ask you. Like, do you so this is obviously like the crowd popped, but if he wasn't there to say Conor McGregor, that would have fell flatter than shit. It's because he
Yeah,
called out McGregor. And like everyone in the MMA world already knows that. We know that Endeavor wants to start crossing over WWE and UFC fans again. And but it's hard
yeah.
because like everyone on the MMA side and MMA Twitter and in the MMA YouTube world and everything, they're all like, yo, that was cringe as fuck. Everyone in wrestling though is putting it over. I'm putting it over. I think it's
What did Ariel say? Because he floats on both sides.
he was just popping. He was like, this is incredible, this is awesome, like and he's just like, this is awesome. It's an MMA guy on, like, we need to see more crossovers. And I believe that too. Like, I don't know, MMA and pro wrestling have always been bound together and have always shared weird
Yeah.
mixed rules in certain organizations and things like that. In some
I mean,
matches,
I feel like pro wrestling gave MMA its structure.
dude, it did. And like pro wrestlers were like, so I made this video a while ago, and it's about Eddie Bravo. He's the 10th Planet black belt, and he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he talked about how Matsuya Maeda way back was he would fight people at like circuses and like pro wrestling. He would like stretch guys for real, right? And they were telling him, yo, you can't do that, like you can't be doing that anymore, like people know who you are, da 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 da. And so he put on a fucking lucha mask and he went down to Mexico and started stretching people, and he's one of the people who helped like create lucha, and he's like fucking one of the first like, you know, jujitsu, judo fucking practitioners who was like really stretching guys and stuff. And I don't know how fully real that is, but Maeda was under a mask wrestling like it's always been sewn at the hips, man. You see like people like Bob Backlund and shit would compete in those like those like shoot style, you know, that stuff. And I loved all that. That was always, you know, that's why Samoa Joe's one of my all-time favorites. Shout out Samoa Joe. You know, he's like a shoot guy. Like he's like the last guy you'd ever want coming after you, staring down a hallway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, dude. So it's like, and he's for real. You see him in those matches he's had in the past that were like straight up shoots with people, you know, with Necro Butcher and guys
or him and Angle on a couple of those early TNA matches. Those were brilliant. Some shoot fights. Some headbutts were real.
Yeah, dude. So it's yeah, like I have a deep affinity for that. So I'm down, man. Cross them over as long as they do it tastefully. But if Chandler wasn't there to go, Conor McGregor, that shit would have been awful. It would have been terrible, man. Would have fell flat on its ass.